So good morning to everybody and to another CUBE session, Champions Using Teams Effectively. You are the champions. And we're here to just geek out with you, help answer any questions if we can. If you're new, if this is your first time, which I think I may see some new folks, welcome. We're here every Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and online at aka.ms/CUBE4Teams, which is how you got here. So you probably already know that. Cool. So as always, you can come off mute or use the chat, throw a question out, comment, feedback, anything. We're here for you. So if anybody's got any burning questions or comments or thoughts, happy to hear them at this time. And hopefully you're able to see my screen here. So anything we want to demo or anything, we can do that. But anybody come with a burning question to kick us off? See the question about what, actually a couple questions. Let me go here. Any information on exactly what the webinar enhancements are. And I'm wondering if that question is related to Teams Premium or is that just webinar in general?
It's just webinar in general. It's on the roadmap, okay. Microsoft Teams webinar updated template with enhanced setup experience.
Oh.
Yeah, so I can't find any information on what exactly it is.
It's interesting. I've seen that. Let's take a look. Let's see. So I'm guessing the end development. There's Teams Premium. Okay, here we go. New layout, expanded options, customer residence.
Here, I found what I think is a good tech blog I'm going to paste in here, and we can certainly see what else may be there.
Copy link.
Yeah, I read this article. It's from earlier in the year before Teams Premium was announced. Yeah, so I don't know which of these features are shifting to Teams Premium and which ones are part of this enhancement. So.
Okay, excellent point.
Yeah, that roadmap posting is a little vague. So certainly a lot of features mentioned here, but which ones are the roadmap referring to? In November 2022, so in theory, it's out there right now.
In the Service Health Center on, they do have an update saying that, it's going to be beginning of December now, but still no other updates about what exactly the feature is.
Okay. Anybody out there that is seeing this in their tenant or know anything about this one? I'll have to dive into that one.
Yeah, I'm hunting here as the conversation continues just to see if it can land on anything concrete.
Yep. Okay. Let me see. Idea about availability for GCC for the Updates app. Stacey, have you heard anything about the Updates app?
I actually reached out to the team that built it when it first came out because I had a couple of customers show interest. It's not GCC friendly today, but there was discussion about making it GCC friendly, and I would be interested in your use case for it because then I could take that back to my contacts with the creators of the Updates app and help prioritize it for GCC based on use cases that make sense and resonate. So I don't have any new news there, but I'm absolutely willing to go back to the team and see where their timetable is for getting it GCC friendly. I actually looked at the guts of this thing and didn't find that there was much that was GCC, or I guess I should say I didn't see much that wasn't GCC ready. So I don't know that there's going to be any large lift to make it GCC friendly. I think we just have to get the right prioritization on it. and reflect the right kind of use case expectation. So I'm all ears.
It's Melody. Yeah, thanks, Stacy. I'm not sure yet. I don't even know if we would be interested in it. I did see it, and so I didn't want to bring it to the attention of my manager if it was something that she would be interested in, unless I knew when she would maybe start to use it. So I don't really have any use case specific ideas for it right now. I mean, as you're well aware, we're kind of doing a lot of shuffling in our department right now. And so, yeah, it was something that I was curious about.
Yeah, I think it's really kind of a cool app, and it strikes me as the approvals app in that it's just a templated thing, right? That would allow you to create multiple kinds of touch point reporting on, I mean, this is a horrible example, okay? And I'll own that this is a horrible example. But do you know how you have to clean the restrooms at certain frequency in establishments of a certain kind, and those kinds of regular updates that say, I've gone and I've done what I'm supposed to do and documented that fact, can be maintained in this updates app. And as you know, in the public sector, there's lots and lots and lots of different roles of inspections and validating things out in the field. And this updates app, I think, would have plenty of use cases for the public sector. I think it's probably plenty flexible for that kind of thing. So we can talk offline, Melody, anytime you want about the use cases. But yeah, I would say let me also go back to the development team and see where they are with making it GCC ready.
Okay. Yeah. Well, since my manager, and you'll be very familiar with who it is, Stacy, is in a whole new world right now from what she's been used to. And so I was kind of thinking that perhaps that would help her. You know, she's been in one space for so long, and now she's overseeing completely different activities within the organization, and so it might help her. I'll talk when we meet next.
Okay, that sounds good.
Just going down the line here. So filter by unread in actions. I wonder if you mean in activity.
Yeah, sorry. I did mean there was a typo. I did mean an activity.
Yeah. And I don't even know why it's not in my client here. Maybe I need to do an update or something. But yes, there's a what do you call that? I guess I don't know, click box, whatever it is. But yes, for unread. Yeah, for unread messages, either coming to you or already there. And so you always had this in the filter to filter it out. And so to me, is that new button will be like a convenience. I personally, even as I'm saying that the functionality is always there, now that the click box is there, I have been using that. And so I keep it on, and now my feed is only the unread things, and I'm trying for this world that's probably impossible to actually have read through all the feed and one day get that to be empty. I just think I have way too many unread messages for that to happen. But yeah, so that is either coming or some of you may already have it. It's just that a nice button that basically gets you here without the 2 or 3 clicks that I just needed to do to get there. So there's that. And then as I'm going down in the chat, unaware of Teams Premium. So Teams Premium is a new SKU, and I don't know that it's even officially out there yet, but it offers some additional So this is like the 30-second Ricardo version, I guess. Some additional customizations and features on top of what you do with Teams. I think largely in the advanced webinar space primarily, but it is a new SKU and with additional costs for getting additional features. I think that's probably accurate, Stacey. Like overwhelmingly, advanced webinar features is what Teams Premium is full of. I mean, there's a little more than that, but that seems to be the meat of it. I know there's been a lot of interest in Teams Premium that I've seen among customers who are doing, hearings and advanced bookings and things where they need custom lobbies or things like that. So that is a really butchered version of what Teams Premium is kind of meant to be. So in a nutshell, though, it's a new SKU with some additional features at an additional cost.
Right.
And then in the chat showing the message center post for that webinar experience. Okay, awesome. I saw also this, and that's why, as Stacey was talking, I was looking at the status message because I saw someone ask about the new look for status messages, which I guess we could see here as Nestor is looking at Ricardo, and I just put that new message in. You get this. Is it a Teams thing or an Outlook thing? I would guess more of an Outlook thing, given that it's shown here in Outlook Web as well as on Teams. Other than the look of it, I don't know if there's any additional functionality. I mean, I like it. I guess I always like new UIs. So, but yeah, from what I can see today, as just a new look to it. I will pause there, though, to give a little best practice or just talk for just a second about the status message, because I don't know how much people use that. We know that status message will automatically, interact with Outlook in terms of if you're out of office and have an out of office message, this will honor that or display that message. But as you can see here, you certainly can put your own message. And not only that, but a few options related to that, deciding how long to do it. Maybe it's a message that you don't want forever, but you just want for the day. Again, that's not necessarily related to being out of office, but just a message in general. And this checkbox about show it when people message me, meaning anytime somebody, like mentions you or starts up a chat with you, they get a banner showing this message. So if you haven't done this, your question might be, why would I do this? In my case, for instance, right now, the message I'm showing internally is, what is it? I think it's I love Teams, or let's see. I'm a Teams fanatic, and I actually put a link to youtube.com/teamworkcowbell. And I do that because anytime anyone wants to interact with me, I like for them to know that I'm a Teams person, because most people I interact with have questions about Teams. I want them to know that I'm happy to answer those questions. Trying to think of other messages I may have done in the past, but I like it as a way of whatever branding or whatever you want people to kind of know about you as they are chatting with you. Is something you could put there. It could be where you are currently, there's all kind of ways to do that. So if you haven't in the past, consider using this in your day-to-day work to kind of just show, either how you're feeling, what your, interests are. I mean, it's free, right? It doesn't cost you anything. I've seen people put quotes there that, they like, and so things like that. So, and now given that we got this fancy new look to it, it's going to kind of, I guess, show up a little more prominently in the past. So I don't know if anybody's got a thought there about any way that they've used that status message, if at all. And then certainly as out of office, it's certainly important so people know. Last thing I'll say about that, I've also used it. I'm not out of office, but I am doing something such that, like maybe at a conference or all-day meeting. I'm not out of office, but I am busy enough that you're about to chat with me. You should know I might not get this, right? So it's not out of office, but I'm very busy, so this message is good for that. So just as someone starting to chat with me, they know this might not be worth it at this time. All right, that's all I'll say about that. See the screenshot for the unread only. See a link to Teams Premium in the chat. Yep. And this is what I have pertaining to unread. Okay. Yep. Awesome. Cool. So I think I got through all the chat questions there. I think I missed anything. Cool. Any thoughts out there to what we've been talking about, or any other questions? I am curious why I don't have the unread only there, but this time I'll sign back in.
I often, at the end of the day, I usually just X out on Teams. Often every morning before I start my day, I quit my Teams.
Mhm.
And so it wasn't there yesterday, that I know.
Mhm.
And I just
Yeah.
happened to notice it there today. So I don't know if anybody else does that, but if I don't quit Teams at the end of the day, I actually quit it before I start to look at anything fresh the next morning.
Mm. I'm curious, not that I'm necessarily asking this group, but we have been in an age of cloud SaaS apps for a while, in which changes come weekly versus yearly. Like I know none of you are old enough to remember when updates used to come on from your MSDN subscription, or they came once a year on physical media, but now they're like weekly. And so after so many years of that, I'm just wondering if we're finally used to that, or if that's still a tough one. I know, for instance, that can be a tough one. You're always having to update your training material and screenshots and things like that. But I don't know. I'm one of those that likes keep giving me the new stuff as much as possible.
Me too. That's why I do that. So
Yeah.
to help push anything that might have come up new overnight.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's also a good thing, at least from my perspective, and certainly from a security perspective. I'm all for give me whatever security updates you think I need to keep up with this kind of a scary landscape of security threats. So. What else do we have out there? Any new shared channel success stories from anyone? We've talked about that in the past. I don't know where are my shared channels. Do I not have them in here? That might be in my other. I think that's in my other environment. So, I don't know if anybody's. Oh, I see a hand up from Glenn. Go ahead, Glenn.
Oh, hi, just to clarify what I think was Melody just said. So I just went and right-clicked on my Teams icon down on my taskbar, and there was a choice for sign out. And I had just been in the habit of clicking the Windows X in the upper right-hand corner to close at the end of the day. Should we click sign out before we close out, or is it equal, or does it matter? Or?
I think it's your preference. I think what we might have just been talking about is that signing out is the option more likely to give you the latest updates when you come back in. So, for instance, my suggestion, if someone's saying I don't see this certain feature, my suggestion has always been check for updates, wait a couple minutes, then sign out, sign back in. Usually that's when I know whatever I'm entitled to, I've got the latest with that process. but you can certainly quit and come back in. That doesn't hurt anything to just, quit. It's just probably not doing a check for the latest update in that process. So I've heard of people doing both. I have heard of folks who completely sign out every day, but it's not required, for good operation of Teams.
Okay, thank you.
And what
Sir-
sorry, what
I
I've
was just
also
gonna say-
heard too, just
Go
clicking the X, you can still go to that icon at the bottom and you can still click quit. If you click quit, then you go back to that icon at the bottom and the quit's not there anymore. So
Right. And so what you're referring to there is this setting here about on close, keep the application running. If this is checked, when I do that, I haven't closed Teams. I've just brought it down to the taskbar. Then I could take the second step of quitting, or I could, open it up. So in my case, I actually usually prefer unchecking this because I know how to minimize or, I don't know. I like for the X to actually close it out, but that's what this checkbox is all about, is what's your preference here, to actually close the application or to just send it to the taskbar. So another thing I was going to say there, certainly that sign out, sign in to me is like the IT folks saying, have you rebooted yet? When you have a PC problem, if you got any kind of glitch or something with Teams, signing out, signing back in should be the first step. Try to fix it before you go yell at your help desk. Got some funny comments.
So what is the difference between I'm seeing sign out and I'm also seeing quit? Which is better?
So quit would just be, ending the execution of this app on your PC. Signing out would be, literally signing your profile out. And then when you go back in, you got to sign back in again, for which that's going to, in the background, probably, go grab the latest version kind of thing. But the quit is purely a local, kill this app kind of quit. Does that make sense?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question related to all of that.
Okay.
I hope I'm not just carrying it on too far, but
Go
so
for
if I
it.
uncheck the box so that when I close Teams using the X in the upper right corner, it does not keep the application running. Does that make closing Teams the equivalent of quit?
Right.
Okay.
The equivalent of
Thank
quit,
you.
not the equivalent of sign out, but just the equivalent of quit. Yep.
Good. Thanks.
Because as you'll see here, when maybe I didn't save my changes, but yeah, I hit the X, it's gone, and it's not in the taskbar. So that app is no longer executing on my PC. And I guess to keep that going a little bit longer, then the question becomes, from a best practice, is that good, right? Now, I uncheck that because I decide to keep Teams open all day long. But especially a new person to Teams, might be a best practice for them to have this checked, because they are they've not yet trained themselves maybe to keep Teams open all the time. So when they close, that it's going to close, but what they probably really want to, as they learn to use Teams and to respond to Teams and get messages, is probably to have it go to the task bar or remain open. So if you are bringing on somebody new to Teams and trying to give them some advice there, I think my advice would be on close, keep the app running, and as well as auto start, because they're not yet in the position of coming in the morning and starting up Teams maybe. So both of these, I think, are good defaults for a new person using Teams so that they can stay in the habit of keeping it up all day long, just like we do with Outlook, Who knew that there could be so much to talk about regarding closing?
Oh, you didn't even talk about notifications. We could talk about notifications all
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
So many customizations, and I encourage you all and anyone new to teams that you're working with to really hone in on the notifications that you want and turn off the ones that you don't, because it can get rather noisy with purpose if you want it to be, but you can throttle that appropriately for your own needs.
Yeah.
Very granularly.
Yeah. And as champions out there advocating for teams, the message is that teams does not have to be chatty and noisy. You know, as Stacy's saying, it can be customized to be as quiet as you need it to be. I've seen a lot of new Teams users get frustrated. So all of these notifications and all these teams I'm in, and it just doesn't have to be that way, right? So go let them know to change the notifications, whether it be at the global level in settings and notifications, or at a per channel level, 3 dots, channel notifications. Lots of ability to quiet down Teams if it's too loud, even quiet down a particular conversation. Maybe this thing with Deborah's got everybody all in an uproar. I can turn on or off notifications for this as well. So
Yeah, and on your mobile too. If you're sitting at your desk with Teams on your mobile and mobile on your desktop, you can throttle those accordingly as well. So you're not getting told on your mobile and on your desktop and within Teams and within activities and with banners,
right.
with phones.
Yeah.
Control that all. Don't let yourself be driven nuts. There's a reason those controls are so granular.
Yeah.
Ricardo, what Fridays, if any, this month will we not be meeting?
I believe.
What a great question.
Yeah.
It
I
will
think
be
the
Christmas and New Year
obvious
before we
one
know it.
Yeah, the obvious one would be the 23rd. I guess I would say the 23rd and the 30th. I'm just guessing those are probably 2 popular days that people will probably have off.
Mhm. I would think so too.
Yeah, the 23rd and the 30th. Now, if you hit me up and you say I gotta have my Cute for Teens, I'll get online for you. But in general,
I might too. Honestly, I'm not traveling, so
Yeah.
Ricardo, you need to get the band together on those days. We could probably make it happen.
Yeah. But short of you petitioning and start asking, let's call our vacation days 23rd and 30th for Cute for Teens. And of course I'll update the webpage with that info as well. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out the blog for more content.